guys, it's Mishi here, and I'm going to explain borderline personality disorder in under 5 minutes. If you want a little bit more of a personal, in-depth look, you can check out my story in the description down below. Borderline personality disorder is a very serious mental illness. It's categorized by constant changes in mood, fears of abandonment, and the inability to have a cohesive sense of self. So the lack of identity is what causes us to shift between positive and negative in the blink of an eye or the snap of a finger. So that means that we are way more likely to engage in unhealthy and damaging behaviors such as alcohol abuse, substance abuse, spending, speeding, unsafe sex, eating disorders, all of that, because there is no common center ground. At the end of the day, you only have yourself, right? We do not feel as if we have ourselves or that we're our own enemy, if that makes sense. So imagine if you had such a negative base to deal with, and everything that's been built is negativity and unsafe coping mechanisms and all of that. So that's why we are much more likely to engage in suicidal behaviors, self-harming, such as cutting oneself or burning oneself, and unhealthy relationships. So with that negative foundation that we've been built on, it's hard for us to remember at the end of the day that there is good and bad in everything. When we like something or someone, it is more than a like. It is a love. It is a passion. It is all-consuming idealization, just the best thing to happen in the whole world. Alternatively, if we dislike someone or someone has been treating us poorly, they are just the scum of the earth. They are the worst person, they are just shitty, and we cannot see those redeeming qualities that other people may. So, along with that black and white splitting, there is a constant need and inability to see our worth. We do not see ourselves as a person worthy of love, and that is why we have such negative feelings associated with some things that aren't even worth it. We can forget things that happen to us, or we'd like to think that we forgot, but then it comes down to it even a few years later. If we're reminded of that shitty person or shitty event, it's going to be completely rehashed as if you know, all of that time that you spent growing and recovering from it it just never happened. So with the mood changes, we can be completely happy 1 second, and then if something bad were to happen, we could become the worst thing to deal with. We can be put into moods via external forces. So that is probably one of the things that is recognizable from the start with someone that has BPD, is that they are unable to look at things in multitudes. So it's almost as if everything is two-dimensional. You see things and that's the way it is. We are not able to understand that there are good and bad in everything. BPD is so difficult to deal with, and a lot of us never end up getting the treatment that is going to help us improve such a difficult, all-consuming disorder the way BPD is. But it is possible. With therapy, especially DBT, which is dialectical behavioral therapy, it breaks down our core, understanding of who we are, or lack of understanding of who we are, and why we turn to these negative coping mechanisms as opposed to something positive. And it's because we never got to learn about what we're supposed to do when we feel these ways. And that's why when you sit down and you talk to your therapist, they'll go through all of your feelings and also your past, and they try to figure out what it is that had deterred us from wanting the best for ourselves. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I just wanted to explain it really quick. I am going to continue doing my videos about self-advice, self-help, all of that good stuff about BPD. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later.